Hey guys, it's Lametria from Smart Edition Academy, and in this video, we're going to go over the GED writing practice test. Now, I'm going to go over each question one by one, and I'm going to give you the answers so you don't want to miss this. So go ahead and take a seat, and let's get started. So we have question number 1, which is which of the following spellings is correct? Is it dependent, 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 or dependent? I'm going to go with dependent because dependent is the only correct spelling of the word. So we're going to pick that one and move on to question number 2. Which word in the following sentence is an adjective? Mrs. Washington loves red roses. Is it Mrs. Washington? Is it loves? Is it red? Or is it roses? The answer for this one is going to be red, and that is because red is an adjective that describes the noun roses. So let's move on to question number 3. Katharina didn't blank her job as an accountant, so she decided to change careers. Is it like? Is it likes? Is it liken? Or is it liked? So the answer for this one is going to be like, because this is a past tense negative. So it takes the helping verb did with the base form like. So we're going to select like and move to the next answer, or the next question rather. Select the correct verbs to complete the following sentence. My dentist, who I blank visited for years, blank suddenly disappeared. Is it has and has? Is it have has? Is it has have? Or is it have have? The answer for this one is going to be right here, have and has. So this sentence right here has a predicate within a predicate. The inside predicate is who I have visited for years, and the outside predicate is my dentist has suddenly disappeared. All right, so let's move on to question number 5. Select the direct object of the underlined verb. Andre was happy to help his daughter and her fiance plan their wedding. Is it was happy? Is it to help? Is it his daughter and her fiance? Or is it their wedding? The answer is going to be their wedding. Their wedding is a direct object of the verb plan. So the direct object is receiving the action. And their wedding is what is going to be being planned. So let's move on to question number 6. What part of speech correctly describes the underlined phrase in the following sentence? Leo watched his older brother walk to the bus stop on the first day of school. Is it the direct object? Is it the indirect object? Is it the subject? Or is it the object of the preposition? I'll give you a second to think about that one. And the answer is going to be the direct object. His older brother is the direct object of the verb watched in this sentence. All right, so let's move on to question number 7. Which of the following nouns can be made plural by simply adding an S? Is it fox? Is it frog? Is it cherry? Is it potatoes? The answer is going to be frog. To make the word frog plural, we just have to add an S to it, right? The rest of them, you have to add more than one letter to it to make it plural. That would be foxes, cherries has IES, potatoes becomes OES. So yes, only one here that can take simply an S is going to be the word frog. And let's move on to question number 8. Which word does the underline modifier describe? I looked up to Marvin, who was a year older. Is it I? Is it looked? or is it Marvin? The answer is going to be Marvin, and that's because who was a year older describes Marvin. So that's going to be your underlying modifier that's describing. Or the underlying modifier right here, who was a year older, that's going to be describing Marvin. Next question, which word does the underlined verb describe? She played beautifully in the recital. Is it she? Is it played? Is it in? Or is it recital? The answer is going to be played. And that is because beautifully is an adverb that describes the verb played. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Select the part of speech of the underlined words in the following sentence. Thousands of young people showed up to meet the teen idol. Is it adverb? Is it an adjective? Is it a noun? Or is it a pronoun? The answer for this one is going to be, I'll give you a second to think about it. The answer for this one is going to be an adjective. And here's why. So young is an adjective that describes the noun people. And teen is an adjective that describes the word idol. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 11. What is the correct plural of quiz? Is it quiz, quizzes, quizzies, or quizzes? The answer for this one is going to be the last one down here at the bottom. Quizzes with two Z's, not just one. So with words that are ending in Z and ES, you have to add an extra Z for this one. This one is more of an irregular word, but you have to add an extra Z to make this one plural. So this one right here with just one Z would be incorrect, okay? So we're going to move to question number 12. Which of the following options correctly fixes the run-on sentence below? So the first choice is being able to drive cross-country is an incredible opportunity, comma, there is much to experience. The second one is being able to drive cross-country is an incredible opportunity. There is so much to experience, period. Being able to drive cross-country is an incredible opportunity, for there is so much to experience. And being able to drive cross-country is an incredible opportunity, and there is so much to experience. Well, I'll give you a minute to think about that. The answer for this one is going to be the third choice down, which is being able to drive cross-country is an incredible opportunity, for there is so much to experience. The reason why this sentence is correct is because this not only is the only one that fixes this run-on sentence, but sometimes you've got to add a couple words just to make the run-on sentence flow. You know what I mean? So to adding for there is so much to experience makes this run-on sentence flow more congruently, right? So we're gonna pick that one and move on to the next question, which is going to be question number 13. Adding which prefix to intentional would make the antonym of the word? Is it D, un, dis, or miss? The answer for this one is going to be un, the prefix un. Adding the prefix un would make the word unintentional, which is the antonym for the word intentional. Next question. Which of the following options would complete the above sentence to make it a complex sentence? I enjoy watching the snow fall blank. Is it the winters are brutally cold, but the winters can be brutally cold? Is it However, the winters can be brutally cold? Or is it even though the winters can be brutally cold? So which makes this a complex sentence? The answer for this one we're going to go with is going to be, I enjoy watching the snowfall, even though the winters can be brutally cold. So the reason why the answer is even though the winters can be brutally cold versus the others is that so this option will make the sentence a complex one since it has a subordinating conjunction, which is even though, and a dependent clause. So let's move on to the next question. Which words in the following sentence should be capitalized? She asks, do you like Indian food? Is it she and do? Is it do and Indian? Is it she and Indian? Or is it she, do, and Indian? The answer is she, do, and Indian in this particular sentence. She is at the beginning of the sentence and should be capitalized, right? Do is at the beginning of a quoted sentence, and that also needs to be capitalized. And also nationalities such as Indian would always be capitalized too. So you're going to have 3 capitals in this one sentence. All right. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 16. Select the word that is a possessive noun. Is it its? Is it who, that, or ours? Possessive noun, meaning possession, right? Something you have. Well, I'll give you a second to think about that one. All right, so the answer is going to be ours. And that is because ours is a possessive noun and it is a contraction of it is. Who and that are relative pronouns, right? So we're going to move on to the next question, which is identify the direct object in the following sentence, if there is one. Max tried so hard, but he did not succeed. Is it so? Is it hard? Is it not? Or is it there is no direct object, right? That could also be the case. Well, guys, in this case, the answer is going to be the last one on the list, which is there is no direct object, right? And that's because neither the verb tried or the verb succeed has a direct object. So and hard are adverbs, right? So there's no direct object in this sentence. So we're going to move on to the next one, right? What tense are the underlined verbs in the following sentence? We read a book and wrote a paper about it. Is it the simple tense? Is it past tense? Is it simple present? Or is it present perfect? The answer for this one is going to be simple past, right? And that's because read and wrote are in a simple past tense. So it's a simple past tense right here for this one. All right, so let's move on to the next question. All right, so for the next question, we have what type of error can be found in the following sentence? The report earned an A that I wrote on the Korean War. Is it a run-on sentence? Is it an incorrect subject-verb agreement? Is it a misplaced modifier? Or is it a pronoun error, right? So the answer for this one is going to be a misplaced modifier. I'm going to go ahead and select that one. And here's why. That I wrote on the Korean War should modify report. So it should be placed after that word, okay? Next question. Fill in the blank with the correct subordinating conjunction. We will throw a pizza party, blank, you win the game. Is it if? Is it that? Is it since? Or is it because? The answer for this will be the word if. We will throw a pizza party if you win the game. And that's because the word if signifies the beginning of a dependent clause and is the only conjunction that makes sense in this sentence. So sometimes you just got to go with what makes sense, right? So the answer for this one is going to be if. And let's move on to our next question. How many modifiers are in the following sentence? They carried sleeping bags, tents, and backpacks. Is it 0? Is it 1, 2, or 3? The answer is going to be 1, right? So the only modifier is the word sleeping, which is an adjective describing bags. All right, question number 22. We're moving right along, right? Which of the following is correct? Is it the 4th of July? Is it the 4th of July with a capital F? Is it the 4th of July with a capital F and a lowercase j? Or is it the 4th of July with a capital F, O, and J? The answer is going to be 4th of July with a capital F and a capital J. Holidays need to be capitalized. However, the word of is typically never capitalized. If it's joining two different words together that are capitalized, it's usually lowercase. What part of speech is the underlined word in the following sentence? The dog wagged its tail. Is it a noun? Is it an adverb? Is it a pronoun? Or is it an adjective? Your answer is going to be pronoun. And that is because it is a possessive pronoun. It replaces the word dog. All right, let's move on to our next question, which is question number 24. We're almost halfway there. All right, so what part of speech is the underlined word in the following sentence? Douglas served on the Supreme Court for 36 years. Is it noun? Is it pronoun? Is it adjective? Or is it preposition? The answer for this is going to be noun. And the answer is noun because the Supreme Court is a noun, right? It's a thing, right? Yep, so we're going to move on to our next question, which is question number 25. All right, so the next question says to identify the nouns in the following sentence. Marie Curie won the Nobel Prize in 1911. Is it one in 1911? Is it one Nobel Prize in 1911? Is it Marie Curie won a Nobel Prize? Or is it Marie Curie Nobel Prize in 1911? So your answer right here that's going to have all the nouns in the sentence is going to be selection number 4 right here, which is Marie Curie Nobel Prize in 1911. Those are all nouns, okay? I know it may not seem like it, but yes, 1911 is a thing. It's a year, and a year is a thing, right? So let's move on to question 26. Which of the following is an example of a simple sentence? Calcium for bones. Calcium makes bones strong. Calcium is necessary. It makes bones strong. Or is it calcium is good for bones, so people need it? So the answer for this one is going to be, let's go with this one. Calcium makes bones strong. So this one here is a simple sentence since it contains one independent clause consisting of a simple subject and a predicate, right? So let's move on to question 27. How would you connect the following clauses? The trial must begin. She shows up or not. Is it the trial must begin as she shows up or not? Is it the trial must begin which she shows up or not? Is it the trial must begin because she shows up or not? Or the trial must begin whether she shows up or not? So the answer is going to be the trial must begin whether she shows up or not. So with an independent and a dependent clause, a subordinating conjunction is going to connect them together, right? So whether is actually the only choice that makes sense in this sentence, right? So the rest of them, it just doesn't flow well. But whether definitely connects them in a way that works. So we're going to go with that one and move on to the next sentence. All right, number 28. What is the sentence with the correct use of punctuation? Is it the bookstore has 3 types of books: fiction, nonfiction, and biography with a colon in between? Is it going to be the bookstore has 3 types of books: fiction, nonfiction, and biography? Is it, and that's just with a comma. Is it going to be the bookstore, or a bookstore colon has 3 types of books: fiction, nonfiction, and biography? Or the bookstore has 3 with a colon types of books: fiction, nonfiction, and biography? Which one is it going to be, you guys? So after we think about it for a second or two, the answer is going to be the bookstore has 3 types of books separated by a colon right here at this point: fiction, nonfiction, and biography. So colons are used after the last word before introducing a list, okay? That's something to definitely keep in mind. The colon comes after the word that introduces the list. So let's move on to our next question. Select the subject with which the underlined verb must agree. On Memorial Day, which is the last Monday in May, Americans honor those who have died for their country. Is it Memorial Day? Is it which? Is it Americans? Or is it died? The answer is going to be Americans. And that's because the verb honor must agree with the subject, which is Americans, right? All right, so let's move on to our next question. Identify the preposition in the following sentence. It's really hot in that room. Is it it? Is it hot? Is it in? Or is it that? The answer is going to be in, right? And here's why. In is a preposition. So you're going to have to look at that prepositional word list to make sure you just kind of know them by heart. But yes, in is a prepositional word. All right, so let's move on to our next question. Which part of the following sentence is the predicate? My granddaughter was born on January 18th. Is it my granddaughter? Is it was? Is it was born on January 18th? Or is it January 18th? I'll give you a second to think about that. But we're going to go with was born on January the 18th, right? And so here's why. So the subject is my granddaughter, right? And the predicate is was born on January 18th. So that's the second half of the sentence. Was born, the subject being my granddaughter. So let's move on to the next question. Which of the following sentences is correct? It was good, wasn't it? And did you like the movie? It had action, drama, and romance. Or before the movie, we went to dinner. So which of the following sentences is correct? The answer is going to be, it was good, wasn't it? And that's because the commas are used before the question tags. So right here, we're missing commas everywhere. Right here, you should have a comma after the word and. This is a list, action, drama, and romance. We know we need commas there. And also before the movie, comma, we went to dinner. So you have two separate things going on here. So yes, the answer for this one is going to be, it was good, wasn't it? That comma represents that pause that's necessary in your writing. So let's move on to our next question, which is the following words have the same denotation. Which word has a positive connotation? Is it assertive? Is it dictatorial, domineering, or overbearing? Now, this is one where you have to kind of use the process of elimination. But the only one here in this list that denotes a positive connotation is going to be assertive, right? Somebody that's a go-getter, somebody that's going to be out there getting it like you getting your GED. It's going to be an assertive move, right? So it's not dictatorial, it's not domineering, it's not overbearing, okay? So we're going to move on to the next question. So the next question is going to be, select another conjunction with the same meaning as the underlined conjunction. History is my favorite subject, but I did not do well on the test. Okay? Is it so? Is it since? Is it yet? Or is it if? All right, so the answer for this one is going to be yet. And that is because but and yet have the same meaning in this sentence. It would mean the exact same thing whether you took one word out and exchanged it for the other, okay? So keep that one in mind, definitely. So next question, guys. Let's see where we are. We're at question number 35. Identify the independent clause in the following sentence. The mother could not take her kids to school because it snowed all night. Is it the mother could not take her kids? Is it snowed all night? Is it because it snowed all night? Or is it the mother could not take her kids to school? So the answer for this one is going to be the mother could not take her kids to school. And that's because this is independent because it has a subject, a verb, and it expresses a complete thought. So that makes it an independent clause, right? Alrighty, so let's move on to our next question, which is, which word in the list of synonyms shows the strongest degree of the word? Is it light? Is it vivid? Is it bright? Or is it dazzling? The strongest degree of the word. So the answer here is going to be the word dazzling. And that's because dazzling is the word showing the strongest degree, right? Yep. If it's dazzling, it is just extremely bright and beautiful. So, yep. So let's move on to question number 37. Which word in the following sentence is a pronoun? The driver checked her side mirror. Is it the? Is it her? Is it side? Or is it driver? So the answer for this one is going to be her. Her is a possessive pronoun, okay? Question number 38. Pundit is to apprentice as flux is to blank. Is it stability? Is it increase? Is it decrease? Or is it variation? So the answer for this one is going to be stability. And that's because pundit and apprentice are antonyms in the same way that flux and stability are also antonyms. Okay? They mean the opposite. Antonym, the way I remember it, antonym being like the anti thing, the thing that's on the other side of the equation, right? So antonym and anti, hopefully for some people that may click, for some it may not. But if your brain kind of works a little bit like mine, I can, make different letters and words work together. So when I'm at a test, I can remember antonym is going to mean the opposite. Synonym meaning same, same, synonym. You know what I mean? My brain works like the anti-antonym, right? So, all right. So that's enough with that. But let's move on to question number 39. What is the mistake in the following sentence? Today, the new movie premiered and it was a hit. Is it that the comma is misplaced? Is there that there should be a comma after the word today? Is it that there should be a colon after the word premiered? Or should there be a semicolon after today? I'll give you a second to think about that. And the answer is going to be, there should be a comma after today. So commas are used after introductory phrases. So this one right here, today the new movie premiered, there should definitely be a question after today. So it would read, today the new movie premiered and it was a hit. So that reads a little bit more fluently than just having today the new movie premiered and it was a hit. That today needs to be separated from the rest of the sentence. So we're going to go ahead and pick that one and move on to the next question. Identify the dangling or misplaced modifier in the following sentence. When 6 years old, our family was transferred overseas by my father's company. Is it when 6 years old? Is it our family? Is it was transferred overseas? Or is it by my father's company? So the answer for this one is going to be when 6 years old. So that's because when 6 years old is missing a reference. We have no idea who's 6 years old. You know what I mean? Like we have no idea if we're talking about the person that's actually saying the sentence, or was it the actual act of moving? So to add the reference I, the sentence can be rewritten so that it says, when I was 6 years old, our family was transferred overseas by my father's company. Or it can also read, when 6 years old, I experienced our family's transfer overseas by my father's company. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go with that one, and we're going to move on to our next question. What is the main verb in the following sentence? Can I ask you another question? Is it can? Is it ask? Is it another? Or is it question? So the answer for this one is going to be ask. Ask is the main verb in this sentence. Can I ask you a question? Okay. Question number 42. Which word is not a conjunction? Is it or? Is it the? Is it so? Or is it but? The answer is going to be the word the. And that's because the is an article, not a conjunction. Next question. Which of the following suffixes means in a manner of or resembling? Is it full? Is it able? Is it less, or is it esque? The answer is going to be esque. And that's because the suffix that means in a manner of or resembling is esque, as in the word grotesque or in the word picturesque, right? It resembles a picture. It's very, the skyline is very picturesque tonight. You know what I mean? Something like that. So it looks like a picture. Yep. So next question, we're going to go with click ask. Which of the following root words means people? Is it jet? Is it fast? Is it dim? Or is it cycle? I tried to get that in there. Cycle, right? So the answer is going to be the word dim. And that's because that the word dim, it means people. That is a root word. It's a root word in the word democracy. So dim means people, okay? Demographic, democracy. Think about words like that. All right, let's move on to our next question. Question number 45. We're almost there, you guys. Question number 45. The use of the word MERS in the word immerse indicates which of the following? Something is dipped in liquid. Something is heated in liquid. Something got sprayed with liquid. Or something is kept away from liquid. So your answer for this one is going to be something is dipped in liquid. And that's because the root word immerse means to dip or dive. So immerse means that something has been dipped in liquid. Irascible most nearly means easily angered, easily swayed, easily amused, or is it easily embarrassed? The answer for this one's going to be easily angered, right? So the root irasc means to be angry. And the suffix able means to be able to. So irascible is going to mean, when you combine the two, irascible is going to be easily angered. So we'll pick that one and move on to the next one. Select the word from the following sentence that has more than one meaning. The flu has the ability to strike millions of people each year, and some do not survive. Is it ability? Is it strike? Is it year? Or is it survive? Which word in this sentence has more than one meaning? All right, after a couple of seconds of thinking about it, we're going to go with the word strike. And that is because strike is the word that has more than one meaning. You can strike a baseball bat. People go on strike from their jobs. You know, it definitely is a multi-meaning word. So that's the only one in the sentence that would make sense. So we're going to go with that one, and we're going to move on to the next question. Almost there, guys. Almost. Select the meaning of the underlined word in the sentence based on the context clues. The school has a policy to confiscate all student cell phones before an exam so that they are unable to cheat. Is it seize? Is it hide? Is it protect? Or is it store? So the meaning of the underlined word based on this list is going to be to seize. Okay? The meaning of confiscate in the context of the sentence is to seize, to take. The policy of the school is going to be to take all student cell phones before an exam. Okay? All right, let's move on to question number 49. Select the correct definition of the underlined word that has multiple meanings in this sentence. The copy machine had a paper jam, and the technician had to come fix it. Is it a backup in traffic? Is it an awkward situation or predicament? Is it an instance of a machine seizing or getting stuck? Or is it an informal gathering of musicians improvising together? So the meaning of the word jam in the context of this sentence is an instance of the machine seizing or actually getting stuck. So you got to kind of put it together, and there you have it. So the instance of the machine seizing, getting stuck is your correct answer. And let's go on. Drum roll, please. So we're finally at the last question of the writing portion of the GED practice test. Let's see what it is, you guys. Let's see if we can get this one. Select the context clue from the following sentence that helps you define the multiple meaning word solution. Claude used a solution of ammonia and water to clean the mess that was on the floor. Is it Claude used? Is it ammonia and water? Is it to clean, or is it the floor? So the answer is going to be the definition of the word solution is going to be ammonia and water. So the meaning of solution in this context is a mixture of two or more substances. Okay. So the phrase ammonia and water helps you figure out the meaning of exactly what's in the solution that's being used. All right, guys, great job for sticking with me through the entire practice test. And if you like more practice, definitely check out the link in the description box for more GED study resources. So in the links below, you'll find a free GED practice test and access to the free GED study group. So you definitely want to make sure that you take advantage of all these free resources that are coming your way to help you prepare for the GED exam. So do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And I hope you guys learned some important refresher information. So again, thank you for sitting through and going through the test with me. And I wish you guys happy studying and good luck on your test. All right, you guys, signing off. It's Lametria from Smart Edition Academy, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, guys, bye-bye.